and 1-2 lines we consider
Past
couplet. Let us see here the first stanza. And the first stanza of the poem, the Bella says, all are architects of fate, working in these walls of time, some with mausoleums and wit, some with ornaments of light. So here in the lines you find here, all are architects of fate. You are the constructor of your fate. Okay, you are the constructor of your fate, you are the builder of your fate. And architect means okay, one who plans, one who designs. Here you are the designer of your fate. You are the constructor of your fate. Fate means destiny. Working in these walls of time, 24 hours time we have. 24 hours time we have. Everyone is working in the wall of time. 24 hours of time. And some are executing with massive deeds, and some are with small deeds. And many persons are there in the world. Maybe 7 billion people. 700 crore population is there in the world. And of 700 population, 700 billion population, and some persons are executing great actions, great deeds, and some are doing small actions, and some are with ornaments of life, some living simple life. So that is the first stanza here. You understand the first stanza once again? All are architects of fate. Everyone is the designer of his fate. You are the creator of your fate. Okay. And you are working in the walls of time. 24 hours of time is there, and in the 24 hours of time frame, we are working. Everyone has 24 hours, and some persons doing great actions, using 24 hours of time in a proper manner, and some persons they don't do and living ordinary life. And you can now let us see the second stanza. Second stanza. Nothing useless is or no, each thing in its place is best, and what seems but idle show strengthens and supports the rest. So, generally we live with inferiority complex. We live with nervousness. I am not better than other persons, I am not greater than other persons, and thinking of our small weakness. And we focus mostly on that, and we make ourselves weak. But as a matter of fact, nothing is useless in the world. Everything is useful in the world. Everything is useful in the world. Nothing is cheaper. Nothing is low. Everything has its own value. Every person has his own value. Everything has its own value. We should not look at us in a cheap manner. We shouldn't degrade us anymore. We shouldn't downgrade us anymore. And see there, each thing in its place is best. You are best in your place. I am best in my place. So everyone is best in their place. Okay, never think inferior. Never think we are less than others. And see there, what seems but idle show. Everyone is equal in the world. But some persons are lazy. Among human beings, some are lazy, idle. Some are not lazy, calm persons. They utilize their time well. So that's why they become great. You understand? Two kinds of persons are, some are lazy and then they don't work anymore properly, and some persons they use time properly. Every moment, 24 hours of time, and at least 10 hours or 12 hours, so they use that well. In the second stanza we find that, we notice that in the total world, nothing is useless. Everyone has its own value. Everything has its own value. Okay, every person is best in his place. Everything is best in its place. And the difference is here, some are lazy, some are not lazy. That is the difference here. Okay, and when you are not lazy, you become successful. That is the second stanza. Everything is cooperative then, supportive then. Next. Yeah. So, when you notice the third stanza here, for the structure that behind time is with materials of today's and yesterday's are the blocks with which we build. For the structure that we rise, what kind of structure are we constructing? Structure means construction, the building. How is the structure of the building? How is the structure of your life? So here see there, Time is with materials filled, and 24 hours of time you can execute many things. It is filled with many things. And our today, our yesterday decides your future. Your today's actions, your yesterday's actions, and decide your future, decide your career. And today's and yesterday's are the blocks that which we build. So here writer says every day is a block. Today is one building, right? Today is one building. And how are you constructing today building? And tomorrow is other building. And then if you don't properly build it, and it will collapse. You can't become successful anymore. So here the writer says every day is a one building, one block. So the 24 hours of time is one block, one building, and you have to construct it properly. It indicates you have to use your time in a proper manner, in an appropriate manner, without wasting time, without being lazy. See there, for the structure that we rise, so what you are building the structure, and it creates your building, your today's actions. Okay. The 24 hours of time, how you are using, for what you are using, it decides your future. So, see, that is there given here. Is it here the third stanza? For the structure that we rise, the building what we construct, it is filled with many materials, right? Building needs many materials, no? Sand, bricks, cement, various materials. So the same manner, the 24 hours of building needs many things. 24 hours of building needs many things. So you should proper discipline, planning, hard work, and manners. And with all of them, you should be successful. You should construct the today's building well. So that is the block. In the third stanza, the writer says you have to build block well. Next stanza of the poem. Truly shape and fashion these, leave no young gaps between. Think not, because no man sees, such things will remain unseen. And you hear the writer speaks of your life. Your writer speaks about my life. So he talks about our life, how to build our life. So you have to shape it properly in a proper manner. And some persons they keep yarning. No orange code. Opening the mouth wide. And every time they feel lazy, they don't execute any kind of task, and so this kind of life they have. They don't have any kind of goals, they don't have any kind of dreams, they don't like to achieve anything at all. And every time what they do? Yarning, opening the mouth wide and eating and sleeping and there. So the writer says here, no, leave no yarning gaps. And don't think no man is seeing you. When you are with laziness, don't think no man is seeing you. And don't think such things will remain unseen. Don't think God is watching everyone. Every person is watched by God. Every person is seen by God. Is it clear, the fourth stanza? So we have to shape our life in a proper manner. Okay, and we shouldn't be yarning. Yarning means without doing any work, a person will be being lazy. Opening the mouth wide. And don't think like that, I know I am not seen by anyone, I can live as I like. You don't think like that, God is watching you. Okay, you are watched by God, you are seen by God, just think of that. Next stanza you can see there. Now we have seen here the fifth stanza. Let us see the fifth stanza. In the elder days of art, builders wrought with greatest care. With each minute unseen part, for the God see everywhere. Let us see once again. In the elder days of art, builders wrought with greatest care. The writer says here the actions of our ancestors and the actions of modern man. Our ancestors, whatever work is done by them, they do it very carefully. Wrought means doing something. Our ancestors, your grandfather and their grandfather, when they construct a house, when they do any action, they do it with greatest care. They didn't do it with negligence. Okay, and because why? For example, a building is constructed. If the wall is there, the workers will work one way. If the wall is not there, the workers work in different way. They may not work properly. And that kind of people nowadays are there. In modern era, the people are there. But in ancient days, people live genuine life. Whether money is there or not, it is my responsibility and it is my work. I have to do well. I should construct the house properly, and the workers are working. So people in the ancient time, ancestors, they used to do work sincerely. But modern time, what happens? People, they like to escape from the work. They live with hypocrisy. Okay, and when the want is there, they execute the work. If the want is not there, they escape from the work. So that is what you see. Okay, builders not in greatest fear. Why? Our ancestors, why were they very careful? In their heart, they have their conscience says, okay, God is watching me. I should do my work properly. I am seen by God. I am seen by God. God is watching me. I have to execute my task well. So that is the thought they have, commitment they have. That's why they work well. So in this stanza, in the fifth stanza, the writer explains to us, the poet explains to us the difference between ancestors and modern men. Ancestors used to work sincerely, and modern men and present generation, the modern men, and they don't like to work sincerely. They like to escape from the work. So let us see the next stanza. Has 49 stanzas. So far, I have explained to you 5 stanzas. Now let us see the 6th stanza. What's the 6th stanza? Let us do our work as well, both the seen, both the unseen and the seen. Make the house where God's may dwell, beautiful and tight and clean. So in the 5th stanza, you notice here, let us do our work well. Whatever work it is, you may be a farmer, you may be a lecturer, you may be a student, okay, you may be a carpenter, or you may be a doctor, or engineer, software, any profession. Whatever work is executed, whatever work is carried out by us, whatever work is done by us, we have to do our work well. Let us do our work well. Both the seen and unseen. If someone sees you or not. Okay, the person, whether they see or not, we should do our work well. We shouldn't live with artificiality. We shouldn't live with hypocrisy. Okay, make the house where God's made well. When you in your work, okay, God should like your work. God should come and see the work. God wants to live in your work. In such a way you have to work. You understand? In the 6th stanza, writer says, okay, let us do our work as well. Whatever work is done by you, maybe a student or maybe a farmer, any kind of profession, whatever you do, let us do our work well. Whether someone sees you or not. Similarly, if you do your work, what happens? God will come and stay there. God, in such a way you have to do your work. So when the work is entrusted to you, and the God will come and see the work. In such a way the work should be. Well means live. Then what happens if God will come here and well means people have fear? No. So they do beautifully no. So now, let us do our work well, whether someone sees you or not, because God should come there and live in such a way you have to do that. So beautifully you have to do your work. How must you do your work? Beautifully. And how must you do your work? Completely. How must you do your work? Cleanly. So whatever work is given to you, do the work beautifully, completely and cleanly. So the God can come there and stay there. Some persons they don't complete the work. And some persons they don't do the work beautifully. And some persons they don't do the work cleanly. No, whatever work is done by you, and do your work beautifully, cleanly and completely. So that is the 6th stanza. 8th stanza is, else our lives are incomplete, standing in these walls of time, broken stairways where the feet stumble as they seek to climb. So what is the advice of the writer here? What is the advice of the writer? Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. What's his advice? Do your work completely. Do your work beautifully. Do your work cleanly. Okay, whether someone sees you or not. Do well. If you don't do like that, what happens? Else. Else means otherwise. If you don't do your work well, Our lives are incomplete. You don't have satisfaction. You can't live your life with contentment. And standing in the walls of time. And broken stairways are there. And where the feet stumble and they seek to climb. See, for example, if you like to climb the staircases, steps, if you want to go to from one floor to other floor, when you walk on the staircase steps, while walking, what happens? Suddenly, if the staircase is not well, what happens? You will fall and collapse. No. In the same manner, if you don't do your work beautifully, if you don't complete your work well, and if you don't complete your work cleanly, and what happens? You have to suffer. You will collapse someday. When someone sees you, if you do the work, if someone doesn't see you, and if you act there, someday you will get punishment for that. You will lose the best in your life. You will fail in your life, and you may be scolded by everyone then. So that is 7 stanzas over. Last 2 stanzas are left. Let us see the last 8th stanza. 8th stanza. Build today, then strong and sure, with a firm and ample base, and ascending and secure, shall tomorrow find its place. And how to build your today, I explained to you. Every day is one building. You don't like to fill the building with cheap quality cement, with cheap quality sand, with cheap quality bricks. You don't fill, no. You don't construct a building, no. In the same manner, every day you have to construct, you have to use properly with discipline, with punctuality, with manners, and build strongly your building. Plan your everyday properly. Proper base should be there. Okay, 24 hours of time you should use well. And you have to ascend properly, you must go up. Properly you have to go to the next position, and tomorrow you will find a best place there. When you do today's your work well, you go to the better position than this. Ascending means going to the next position, higher position than this. Is it clear? Today, whatever actions are done by you, and do your actions properly. Strong actions you do them. Perform your actions confidently, surely. Okay. When you want to ascend to the next place, and you can when you do previous actions well, and you will go to the next position, better position than this. Okay. Next, the last stanza of the poem. Thus alone can we attain to those terrains where the eye sees the world as one vast plain and one boundless reach of sky. And here, in the last stanza, if you do your actions today properly, in the 8th stanza, what did you understand? If you, in case of doing your actions properly, beautifully, completely, you will go to better position. Because the platform, the base will be, the foundation will be well. First floor foundation is well, means ground floor foundation is well, the building will be proper. Okay, similarly, here, in that way, by doing your work well, you can attain a great place. Turrets means the top position. Okay, a small tower or top of the building. You can reach the great heights then. If you do your actions well, in the last stanza the writer says, if you do your actions well, we can attain, we can reach the top position. Okay, the top part of the tower, I mean the building, you can go there. Where eye sees the world as one vast plain. From there, on the top of the building, if you stand there and if you can see from there, and people are visible. Okay, you can stand there, in a great position you can stay there, and from the great position you can see the people from there. So you can achieve anything. There is no limit at all. Boundless of the sky. Sky is the limit for you. No limit for your success. So you can, by doing your actions well, you can reach a great position. Is it clear? So once again, I am teaching you the poem, The Builders. The Builders is a third poem from secondary intermediate, and the poem is written by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. In the poem, the writer compares human life with a building. Everyone wants to construct their building properly, beautifully, completely. Good construction, good foundation would be there, they think. In the same manner, in the construction of the building, people are very cautious, very careful. But the writer compares here, every one day is one building. And how are you using your every day? Today one building, tomorrow one building, yesterday one building, day after tomorrow one building. And if you use properly, and you can become successful. And all have same time, 24 hours of time everyone has. But some persons they use their time well and they become successful. And some persons what they do, they live with laziness. They keep yawning around, they sit lazily, they can't become successful. So the writer says, use your today's and your tomorrows, your yesterdays, decide your future. You are the creator of your destiny. You are the architect of your fate. And you need to properly plan your life. 24 hours of time with the discipline, with hard work, with commitment, proper manners, communication skills. And you make your life beautiful. Make your life complete. Make your life clean. So, then you can achieve great success. You can reach greatest position. From there you can see the people. So that is the story. Builder means who? Everyone is a builder. You are a builder. I am a builder. Everyone is a builder. One who builds his life properly is a builder. So let us build our lives well. Let us do our work well. Okay, that is the theme of the poem, The Builders.